Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano catch-up where we look at the main news items, events within the Cardano ecosystem that caught my eye over the last week. Anything missing, do let me know in the comments below or in the thread over on Twitter, which I put out every Thursday, looking to see what should be included in this. I'll leave a link to that down below as well. Give the video a like, comment, share. I really do appreciate all that because YouTube isn't great at the notifications, but that type of stuff helps get the video noticed. Let's jump into it. Okay, timestamps will be down below as normal. We'll go through all of the different news items that caught my eye. We'll take a very quick look at the market at the end. But next week, I'm going to have a dedicated video on that, bringing someone onto the channel that I feel gives a really good overview and a realistic overview of the overall crypto market as well as ADA. So getting into it here, this is the Twitter thread that I put out yesterday. I put it out a bit late yesterday, so it hasn't been out for that long, but anything you want to add, do add it in because I will be linking this down below as well. One of the first items here was All in Crypto put in about the Python smart contract on Cardano, or the first Cardano smart contract written in Python, compiled, deployed on pre-prod testnet. Now this is really good for Cardano. This opens up and I suppose highlights to people that you don't have to be a Haskell developer or a core Haskell developer to build on top of Cardano. There are lots of different ways out there as well. I've seen lots of different libraries that enable you to write in different languages to build on Cardano. The tooling is still being improved all the time, but I've seen a good few over the last 6 months. What I'd like to do is try and get a video together with some of the people behind these libraries and behind these tool sets that allow you to write in different languages to show what's possible. So I'll try and do that in the next week or so, get a few of these guys together to give people an insight into how you can actually get involved, how development on Cardano works, and how people could actually get involved with maybe some of the skill sets they already have, that they don't have to go and be a hardcore Haskell developer to actually get involved. Congratulations to the team here for putting this out. It is a great step in the right direction for Cardano. So next up then we have Sebastian posted here about Jungle Wars, which is the first game using the Pyma engine layer 2 just launched. So this is over on the Milkomeda EVM sidechain for Cardano. And Sebastian says here it's literally a first of its type in all of crypto. Robert really knocked it out of the park. Amazing feat of research and engineering. We'll take a look at why he talks like that. Anyone who's been around Cardano for a while probably is familiar with Sebastian. He's been on the channel here as well. He is one of the guys behind DC Spark, and hopefully I'll be able to have him on again fairly soon to talk about everything they're doing over there as well. So he says the game runs on-chain and all your in-game stats are tracked as part of your NFT. This will allow creating more complex or much more complex games, like even full RPG games where your NFT levels up. So everything is saved back to the NFT, all of your stats and everything within the game. When you go in to try it out, you can see some of the gameplay there. Now, the gameplay is basic enough to start. It's more about the concept and how this all works, with everything being on chain. So every time you make moves within it, you submit the transaction and that is saved on chain as well. You can see there confirming transaction in your wallet. So it will be really good to see how this develops over the next few months, and I suppose even years, and see how games can go a lot more on chain as well. There's a full blog post on it there as well, or Medium article, which I will link down below. Tells you all about how you can get started with it if you want to. It's over on Milkomeda. You do that through MetaMask. I have shown on the channel before about Milkomeda, how you get involved, how you set up your wallet as well over there. But congrats to the team and great to see progress like this. Next up, we have IOG put out the article about the sidechain toolkit that was previewed at Scotfest. They're happy to share the first iteration is out now. This is a great step for Cardano as well. I think sidechains really will play a big role going forward. Not everything can go on the layer 1. Sidechains are there for, I suppose, more custom apps, or what they talk about in the article here is one of the first ones they will be putting out is the EVM sidechain. So you can see here the EVM sidechain public testnet will be released in January 2024, allowing the community to deploy dApps. So Ethereum smart contracts can be launched on that EVM sidechain. So if we take a look at the summary then, or the conclusion, there is the full article here that goes through a lot of the different aspects of it, why sidechains, some of how it will work with interoperability, scalability, for SPOs as well. For the likes of myself who run a stake pool on Cardano, we can also run extra processes to allow us to validate on the side chains, and then people who are part of our Stake pools would be able to earn extra tokens if there is a token associated with the sidechain. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that progresses as well. I will do a full video on sidechains, but just on the summary here, you can see it's part of the Basho era, which is all about scaling, higher programmability, interoperability, and scalability. So it's all about, look, not every dApp will want to launch on the layer 1. Some of the aspects may need to be changed. You might need to change how quickly the blocks happen or the block capacity, or lots of different elements there that can be configured when it's on a sidechain, and it doesn't affect the main layer 1, but you can inherit lots of the security features of the layer 1, which would be Cardano. So you can see eventually IOG hopes to see a family of Cardano sidechains and partner chains emerging. So I will do a full video on sidechains. One that you might be familiar with actually as well is what was launched or announced at IO Scotfest was Midnight, which will be a privacy focused sidechain. I'm looking forward to seeing how these develop over the next few months as well. So on sidechains then as well, World Mobile are also launching a sidechain. Now it will be slightly different to what was mentioned in the article there. I think we're going to get a lot more information on that one next week. When we do, I'll do a video covering that as well, and hopefully bring the World Mobile team on fairly soon to discuss it as well. Testnet is out. There are a few people onboarded to testnet as well. So it'll be good to see what comes out of that and see, can we get indications on when we might see mainnet as well. Earthnode operator NFTs are out as well. So if you haven't claimed yours, you have until the 5th of February. Yep, the 5th of February, you need to have claimed your Earthnode NFT. So this is for people who have reserved their Earthnode either over the last few months, or I think for me, I reserved it on day 1, which was October 2021. So I have reserved mine a good while ago now. At this point, I have claimed my Earthnode NFT. There are some for sale over on JPEG Store as well, but that is, I would say, the only place to get them. Don't be fooled by anywhere else that is offering these or anything like that. And if you do buy one over on JPEG Store, then when you buy it, there is 100k WMT wrapped within that NFT. For claiming, you do that through your Earthnode vault. So I will have a dedicated video fairly soon when we get a bit more information on the network that has been launched. So next up, we have Charles put out the tweet about next month open for business, the Hoskinson Health and Wellness Clinic. So this is something outside of crypto, but when you see down here, someone was asking, can I pay in ADA? And yes, you will be able to pay in the clinic with ADA, which is great to see that they will be accepting it. Some people had attributed part of the big price movement a few days ago to this, but I'm not sure how much this would have really moved the price in the short term, but it's great to see places accepting ADA as well. So next up then is MELD, a hotly contested topic right now. Some people saying it's great, some people really not happy with how it's going to go down, but we'll look into it here and get the facts on it. So this was a post from MELD saying their protocol is embracing interoperability by going multi-chain, allowing users to access a single platform to track and manage their funds across multiple blockchains. So it looks like they're going to be going to Avalanche as well as Cardano. Some people jumped to think that they were moving over to Avalanche. If that was the case, then I can see why people will be extremely angry about this, because MELD raised a substantial amount of funds on Cardano. They were the first ISPO, had a lot of pools and raised a lot of funds at the time. But what they're doing is they are launching on Cardano first, and they're going to be moving to MELD then as well. So they will be running on both. They're going to run a subnet over on Avalanche. Not sure the full details yet of how it's all going to work. But look, cross-chain is going to be the future. No one chain is going to completely win it out and run everything. I would have been happier if they launched on Cardano first, had everything running very well, and then announced that they were going to move and look to build on or not move to another chain, but build on another chain to build cross-chain compatibility as well. But let's see how it goes. I will hopefully have Ken on the channel fairly soon to ask about this and ask about their development and where they are as well. Testnet is live as far as I know. It's going to be live for 2 weeks as a private testnet, and then the public will be able to get in. So as soon as I can get access, I'll be checking all of that out as well. One other thing that I forgot to bring up here was there was a lot of questions about MELD tokens being sold over the last few days. So TapTools highlighted where one wallet sold a lot of MELD tokens. There was speculation it was the team, but MELD did come out and say that it wasn't the team selling, that it was a private sale investor that was selling their tokens. So that does bring up the topic of tokenomics, vesting schedules, releases as well of how many tokens are coming into circulation. It's something that I'll probably put together a video on. I think it's good for people to understand how all of that works and look at the release schedules as well, because they really do affect the prices of tokens. And over time, if there's a lot of new tokens coming into circulation, then you should take that into consideration when getting involved. So I'll put that one together in the next week or so as well. And that's not related to Meld. It is related to every single project out there that you should take these things into consideration. Okay, so on the topic of lending and borrowing, liquid finance is another one I get a lot of questions on. And we can see they put out a mainnet checklist here a while ago, as well as their latest technical updates. But just on the mainnet checklist here, if we go into it, there's different information about what needs to be in place and where they are on different aspects. The audit is going to be the important final step. So the audit is currently in code review phase, and the completion of the code review phase is one of the final work streams before the protocol mainnet deployment is ready. They look forward to sharing the date with the community when it's going to be ready. So it looks like waiting on the audit and then see what fixes need to be made, and then they can plan their mainnet launch then at that point. As soon as I get information on that, I will put it out here as well. Another project that made a few updates lately was Axo. So again, some of these are controversial like the Meld stuff, but some of them are good, I think. This one here, the partnerships. So a lot of partnerships we see in crypto are complete bullshit. We're going to list our token on this platform, so that means we have a partnership. That doesn't mean that you have a partnership just because you're going to list your token or you're going to list someone else's tokens. So I see where this approach is coming from. So they say here, partnerships in the digital asset industry are often perceived as endorsements of a project's value as an investment. And they then go on to say that that wasn't their purpose, that they just wanted to showcase projects that could be beneficial to integrate with the protocol. And for people not familiar with this, it's kind of like if you like Project X, let's use Axo, it doesn't really matter. So you like Axo, you're part of the community, you trust what they're building, and if they then have a partnership with Project X, then you think, okay, well, I must look into this project. It must be good if the project I really like is partnering with them. And when you don't look into what the partnership actually is, it could be basically nothing, like we're listing token or something like that. And because of your trust in the initial project, that leads you to have a certain level of trust in the project they're partnering with. And to a degree, it should. Real partnerships, and for when I say real partnerships, I mean if there is actually going to be two projects coming together to build some functionality or actually integrate within their own platforms outside of just listing a token, then yes, there should be some trust there, because the project that you are a part of obviously had to do some due diligence for getting involved, but you should always do your own due diligence when getting involved in projects anyway. The Axo airdrop as well. I didn't cover this one yet, so we'll quickly go through it, and I might do a full video on this, or hopefully get Yarrick on as we get closer to launch as well, and we can go through some of these topics as well. So Axo done an ISO a good few months ago now. At this point, it has been closed for a while as well, where they took ADA, and in exchange you were going to get the Axo token. But they have changed that around now, in that they have sent everyone back the ADA they should have been due from staking with the pools that they had set up. So essentially they've taken nothing for the Axo tokens you are going to get. And with the claiming process now, to claim your Axo tokens through the Axo Vault, which just went live today, verification and everything isn't live just yet, so there's no big rush. But to claim your tokens, you will have to KYC. So they really are looking to potential regulations coming down the line. They didn't want to have something that the SEC or any other equivalent could come back and say, well, you had a sale, you took ADA from users through the ISO and gave them your Axo token in exchange, didn't KYC or anything like that. So I see where it's coming from. Obviously, you'd like to not have to KYC on a platform. They do go down to clarify here that KYC processing is not a requirement to use the Axo platform. However, it is encouraged to verify one's identity, as it will broaden the available pool of potential trade counterparties. So they really are going after the bigger institutional area and trying to bring in a lot of that liquidity. So potentially with them bigger groups coming in, they would all be KYC'd. So to be able to interact with that liquidity, you might need to be KYC'd. So again, we don't know all of the ins and outs of this just yet. You will be able to use the platform without KYC, but there might be additional liquidity available if you do KYC. As this progresses and as we get closer to launch, or especially after launch, I'll be able to go through a lot more demos, and I probably will KYC if the volume is there, because I would like to use decentralized exchanges like this rather than centralized ones if the opportunity is there. So I'll leave the links to all of this down below. You can see there was another one just came out today about the Axo Vault. The tokens are created, but they won't be distributed until launch. With the tokens as well, actually, there is a vesting schedule I didn't mention. You will get 20% at launch, at the platform launch, and then 80% of the tokens will be locked in a smart contract and distributed over a year. So monthly after that, you will get a set amount of tokens. So another type of protocol or dApp coming to Cardano is stablecoin DEXs. So some people might be familiar with Curve. Again, it's something I need to put a video out to talk about the differences between the current DEXs that are out there on Cardano and a stablecoin swap, because a stablecoin swap is going to be between stablecoins. We don't have many options on Cardano right now, but over the next few months, we should see a lot more coming into play as well. TeddySwap is one that we haven't heard of before, but they are looking to build a stablecoin DEX on top of Cardano. There are some familiar faces in the team as well. I need to do more research on it, so I will, and I'll be putting together a video talking about how stablecoin DEXs work as opposed to the current DEXs we have, which are for volatile assets, meaning any native asset can be traded on the current DEXs, but on these types of ones it will be stablecoins. Wingriders also came out and said that they also have a solution already out on the pre-production testnet. So before that video, talking all about stablecoins and how they come back to Curve. Curve Finance is one of the most popular ones that some people might be familiar with. I will test all of that out and get a video out in the next week or so, talking all about that as well. So we'll close out the video with a very quick look at the charts, but next week we'll do a dedicated one, bringing on someone who I feel gives a very good insight into the overall markets and not just the small day-to-day or hour-to-hour look. So you can see Bitcoin has had a nice move to the upside. We'll look at ADA in a second. And we've pulled away from the bottom, which was down here around 15.5. Lots of people asking, has the market finally bottomed out? If you look at the Bitcoin 4-year cycle, then the bottom, based on previous cycles, should be around now, or we should be very close. If this did end up being the bottom, then you really can't argue with how the Bitcoin cycles have worked. The last few cycles have all been very similar, or a lot of similarities in them. Now, there are a lot of big macro events going on in the world right now that can have a big impact on this. So for me personally, I'd love to think we've hit the bottom, but I'm still not convinced. Until we get back up above the $21,000 level, then that's when I would start to get a bit more comfortable. And for people who are looking to get into the market, I would say DCA is always going to be your friend. We could see lower prices again, so I wouldn't go rushing in just yet. Obviously, not financial advice. That's for everyone to make up their own mind. It was good to see that we did get above the 18.4 level here, which is where we got rejected at this point. If you look at the ADA chart, again, nice to finally see some green in the market. Waiting to see, can we get above these levels here? This is my personal view on it. This is where I'd be looking on the ADA chart. So 34 cents in around that. If we can push above that, then things start to look a bit better for the ADA price as well. But we'll dig more into that type of stuff next week. Hope you got some value from the video. Share it out if you did. Comment anything that should be included in these videos down below. Live streams will be happening now every Wednesday night with Paddy from Shamrock Pool. So any questions you have, do bring them there. And the Cardano catch up will be back again next Friday. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon.